Welcome to the 22nd day of the 30-day challenge with Lovingly Yours English. I'm so glad that we have come to the last lap of this beautiful long learning journey. Now we've already established a friendly relationship with English. Now we're going to look at how to bond with English. Okay? And in this context, we are going to connect it with Simon Sinek's Golden Circle. So to learn that, please join me into the session of day 22. There is no such thing as ideally correct English. Surprising? Well, it was absolutely surprising for me when I came across this statement 20 years back when I was teaching this particular piece, which is an extract from Spoken English and Broken English by G.B.Shaw. And this was a piece that it was part of a text which was prescribed for the undergraduate students quite some time back. Now we all were, almost elated. Our elated response was quite justified because we have been hearing of different Englishes, in quotes. US English, UK English, Australian English. There are many different kinds of Englishes, and even among UK English, there are different kinds of English. There are so many, and no two speakers of English agree with which is the best English. There's always this bone of contention amongst the natives themselves. So for us as non-native speakers, what should we aim at learning? And it is at this particular point, G.B.Shaw's prose piece came as a savior, where he states that there is nothing called ideally correct English. What we all must focus is on good English, standard English, presentable English. For those who haven't heard of G.B.Shaw, let me read you a small intro on him so that you become more familiar. And I think it will be fantastic if we as learners of English language could just go back and enjoy the play called Pygmalion. It's a beautiful one. It's on the journey of a lady learning English. George Bernard Shaw, from 1856 to 1950, was an Irish dramatist, literary critic. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1925. G.B.Shaw was also an excellent public speaker. In his speeches and talks, he dealt with contemporary moral and social problems. Spoken English and Broken English is a transcript of a radio talk and was recorded in 1927. In that, G.B.Shaw advised his foreign listeners not to speak perfectly correct English, but speak presentable English, that is known as good English. Now let us connect the learning of good English or presentable English to the Golden Circle by Simon Sinek. Now once you finish watching this video, please log on to TED Talks and listen to his talk on the 3 WH words. The link is already given in the description box. Now the 3 WH words, it's the way Simon Sinek puts it. Simon Sinek is a British-born American author and a motivational speaker. And his take on the 3 WH words, why, how, and what, is mind-blowing. Now we are going to connect it with learning English language. Now this Golden Circle rule or the concept is super inspiring and innovative when you look deeper into the simple words why, how, and what. According to Simon Sinek, when we start doing something, start with why. Answer the question why, then slowly go to how, and then go to what in the end. First, we must start with reason. Why? We must first convince ourselves before doing something. Why am I doing this? Why am I learning this? Why am I going there? Yes? Until and unless we are convinced, it's very difficult to convince ourselves. Yes? So once we strongly convince ourselves and others on why am I doing this? Why am I making this? Okay? Then the journey becomes beautiful and satisfying and also successful. In this 30-day journey, day 22nd was marked for this particular, almost reflection on why am I learning English? How do I convince myself? And what is the process through which when I go, I find out, okay, yes, now I'm convinced. For this, I have actually formed 2 acronyms. One is RAR, the second one being IRC. Now, these two, the IT people or those who are very much into system, no, this has nothing to do with the RAR, which is for the compressed file format, and IRC for the internet relay chat. Okay, no, it's not that. It is a completely different my acronym. Okay, so the one which I have devised for my learners. So when we expand the acronyms RAR and IRC, you can find different words, almost concepts, which when paired together give you a clarity of purpose in deciding why am I, and come to almost a dynamic decision and progress. So let us look at the slide and go through this exercise of discovering the reason of whatever we are doing, why we are doing. You can have the same process with whichever connected to whichever decision you want to make or anything that you're going to do. It will be, super impressive with the outcome. You will be definitely impressive with the outcome. Let us look at the acronyms and the way they have been paired. The first word for both the acronyms, recognize and independent. Now, recognize and independence, I put them together because we must recognize independently the need, because we have to convince ourselves, and that is a very big challenge that we pose without anybody's pressure. We have to independently recognize the need. Why are we doing it? And then appreciate the need responsibly. We have to responsibly appreciate. Responsibly means we should be accountable for it. And appreciate because we need to give time. So we must be responsible enough in giving time to the recognition which we have taken independently. Okay. And the third one, respect and choice. We must respect our choice, because only when we respect our choice, we will be able to responsibly go ahead. So once we have independently recognized and decided to responsibly appreciate and respect the choice that we have made, it becomes a piece of cake. The journey of learning becomes a piece of cake. And I think that is enough reason for us to assure ourselves that yes, I need to start this journey, whichever be the journey. Okay. Now here in this context, the journey of learning English with friends of English. Okay. Now the why stage is over, and why gives you enough impetus to go to the next stage. And next stage is defining how. So after why, it's the turn of how are we going to do? How am I going to justify the why? Okay. So let's look at the next slide to discover hows. How, How. So I have defined how as a process of 4 R's. As we go through each one, the hows will be more and more clear. The 4 R's are receive, reserve, recover, and recite. Let's look at each one in little more detail. Now, before we look into the 4 R's, I would like you all to think of the situation when you receive a gift from one of your loving friends. What do you do with the gift? Think about it. You just take it and, just take it away and unwrap it and then throw the wrap around and, fine, thank you. That's fine. Is it like this? Or you enjoy the, receiving the gift, and then what do? Very carefully you unwrap it, enjoy or look at it. Oh my God, my friend has given this to me. And then put it at a place where you can see it and appreciate it every moment. And then whenever you look at it, you start recollecting your moments, That's the loving moments that you shared with your friend. Yes or no? These are the 4 stages when we receive a gift from a very loving person in our life. Yes. So here I want you to look at this loving friend of yours, English, and the process when it is giving you something every day, what to do with that, how to keep it with you so that it becomes, a beautiful memory for the rest of our lives. Let's look at the slide. So the first R, receive. Now here, how do we receive things or gifts from English? What do we need to do to receive? To acquire it, to grab it, to get it. What do we need to do? We need to do 2 things: listening or reading. So either listen to speeches, listen to the YouTube videos, or listen to songs, listen to movies, watch and listen. And apart from these, you can also read whatever comes in your way. You see a display, some notice on display, please read it. You see some advertisements, read it. You some beautiful some books, some magazines, newspapers, the scrolling news in English. Please, this is now English can gift you information or vocabulary or language or grammar from these 2 things, reading and listening. So let us open both our arms and receive it with open hearts. Okay, so reading and listening, 2 most important tools when we have decided to go on the journey of learning the language, English language. Okay, now the second R, reserve. Reserve something for the rest of our lives. How do we reserve? How do we reserve in the sense, how do we store it? How do we keep it safe? We want to keep it safe. Yes, we don't want to lose it. So what do? Yes, in some of my earlier videos, I have put across this particular concept called word map. Yes, so whatever information you get from the video, from the book or the song or a newspaper, anything, immediately transfer it onto a word map. So whatever topic you heard, suppose today's video you heard, put the video, the title of the video in between, in the center, and then just write the words that you can remember. As I have told you that our brain loves to save information if it is in clusters, in connection. So any information that you store for future, store it in the form of connections, relations. Okay, relate it to something, and so that it is there safely in our brain. Okay, so first receive, and now reserve it, and reserve it using word map. And the third R, which says recover. Recover what? How can you recover something that you have just put it somewhere, you lost the papers? Can you recover? No. But here there's a difference. You can recover because you have put it safely in the form of clusters in your brain or even in your notebooks. Yes? The second part of your notebook where you're actually making a note of all this. Yes? As you're listening. So the information that you've stored in word maps, you're very, it's super easy to access these words, the vocabulary or information. Super easy because the storage is accessible very quickly. So this is how it's going to become a piece of cake. So the first one, what was the first word? What do you do? Receive, and then, yes, receive, and then what do? Reserve. Receive, reserve, and then recollect. Whenever it's comfortable or convenient, you get some time, go back to whatever is stored and see, okay, it's all there. Keep recollecting so that it remains fresh there. Right? Now it's time for the 4th R. Okay? I'm again and again repeating the R's because I want it to get, stuck into your memory. Let it stick. Okay? Give it some space. So you received, you have reserved, you have recovered. Now what you need to do? Because we want the memory to, whatever you have, you're reserving, you're saving it, we want to save it for the long run. We need to access it for a long time. What do we need to do then? We need to use it. We need to recite it. We need to practice it. Yes? So how do we do that? Super easy tools and super cool tools. And they are speaking and writing. Whatever you've learned, please make it a point to use it on the same day. We receive at a time, and then we reserve at a time, we recollect at another time, and we use it another time. So there are 4 stages for us to save the information for a longer time. So use it immediately. Immediately, the moment you have recollected, use it. Now these 4 R's have to be followed, very religiously every day, because it's a promise. You now know why. Now you need to know how to do it, because we need to justify our whys. So we need to make a promise. Again, the 2 C's: commitment and consistency. The very important words in life. You know what? There's another important thing which will make this journey successful, and that is, it starts with D. Can you guess it? Now this particular word, we have seen it hurling, I think, from the very young age, I think pre-KG or the primary. We have been listening it on and off again and again, and we do it continuously. And that is discipline. And discipline is the only method or the procedure or the process or the system which is going to take you or see you till the end. So there are no ifs and buts, because we have promised to appreciate it responsibly, because this choice was ours. So let us respect that and be disciplined to it. And for that, I don't want to mince any words. It has to be 100% disciplined journey. 100% disciplined journey. Yes? Because discipline is a system. So get into the system. Get into the system called discipline. There are many things, you can listen to a lot of motivation talks. You can watch videos for motivation. But motivation, listen to it. If you stop it there, it is not going to help you out. It is only discipline that is going to pull you through whichever journey you are taking up. Yes or no? Yes, motivation is very much important, very important in our life. But I feel that discipline is much more important than motivation, because it's very important to get into a system of things. The moment you get up in the morning, you don't actually you're not in any confusion. You immediately take your brush, you brush your teeth, you take a bath, have your breakfast. That's a system. So everything that you decide in life must have a system. Now, for example, in this COVID time, what better example than the COVID-19? So be it the center or the state, the government I meant, they are motivating us enough to take care of ourselves. And apart from them, we have the famous people from every industry, even the volunteers, doctors, nurses, everybody is there motivating us. But how do we keep ourselves safe from COVID-19? Is that motivation enough? No. We need to be disciplined in taking care of ourselves, the hygiene part of it. If we are not disciplined in taking care of that particular part, we have lost the war, and we don't want to do that. Yes? We don't want to do. We have to win this war, so we have to be disciplined in taking care of our hygiene. So I'm also doing my bit in motivating all of you. So now it's your turn to follow this particular the process of hygiene in a very disciplined manner, so that we all have a perfect immune system in order to fight COVID-19. So this is the difference between motivation and discipline. We can have enough of motivation, but until and unless we get ourselves very clear with a disciplined program or a system and put us through that particular system in order to reap the benefits, in order to keep our self-respect, keep our respect on a very high level. We need not play with our self-respect, because that's the last thing we want to do to ourselves. Okay? So whichever journey we take up in life, whatever things we want to learn, why do we do it? We do it for success, yes? And what is success? Success is not a destination, my dear. It is not a destination. It is a journey. It is a continuous journey. And continuous journey, the best system to successfully go through this continuous journey is discipline. Yes? So, in this journey, our focus is to learn a presentable English, good English, a standard English, rather than, fighting for which native kind of English we are going to imitate. No, we're going to learn the standard English in a beautiful, easy manner, right? So, I would like to leave you with this beautiful thought, super impressive Mexican proverb, which I personally love it. Every notebook, the first page in every notebook of mine, I have put this particular proverb. It gives me so much of inspiration every time I read it. It's for you here on the slide. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. So come on, you got 101 reasons to learn English. Learn English for those who think you cannot, because they do not know that we are seeds. So that was the important takeaway that I would like all of you to absorb into yourselves. The concept of seed, the potent power of seeds. So before I see you all in my next video, please stay home, stay safe, and stay calm. Thank you. Please click like, share and subscribe to my channel so that it continues the motivation, or it keeps motivating me in making more and more interesting videos for all of you.